Poetics. Good morning, man. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Evolution? I'm here. I'm here.
That makes two of us, man. You ready to get into this?
Yes.
All right, man. Let's go. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Good morning. I am Evolution, and this is my sidekick, Mr.
Poetics. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, absolutely, absolutely, man. And as always, before we get into it, man, we got to give a shout out to our sponsorship, which is JG's Lounge, TGBTG, Golden Diamond Productions, and Vibe, VYV. Comes in a vial, you shaking and sniffing. If you're a little sluggish, it picks you up, get you going. Help support the show and get that little discount. Go to myvibe.com and type in Lucian 15, Lution 15. And there you go. Couple announcements, man. Still moving forward on the journey too, and everything is going along great. We're getting ready to wrap that up here in a couple months, so it'll be available as soon as the production finishes, man. And it's gonna hit, and hopefully it'll hit just like the last one, maybe a little bit better. Also, about that, we got actually a bunch of episodes, a marathon about that coming up real soon that I'm excited about. I've been putting that together and almost ready to hit that mark, man. So look out because it's coming. All right. Now that we got all that out the way, title of today, man, Hurt People Hurting People. And I believe this is a title that you came up with, bro, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, so just off that title, man, what you got?
It's funny, man. I don't think I ever even told you where the inspiration for the title came.
Okay, let's
Uh,
go.
the inspiration actually came from a Kendrick Lamar song
Okay.
um, when he did Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Mm-hmm.
He had mentioned the song. He had mentioned in the lyric, "In the land where hurt people," and I
Mm-hmm.
did. It just kind of really stood out to me. Like this is exactly what the reality of the world is. Hurt people
Man,
do hurt people. So
unfortunately, man, and even before we get off into this, man, I want to highlight something that I saw the other day. It's really timely because of what's going on now, or what can possibly go on at any doggone given time. I saw a person purchasing a bunch of stuff, and all I could think about is this person is preparing for Armageddon, bro. The things that they were buying, I'm like, dude, it was incredible, man. I'm not even going to mention the things that they were buying, but you can probably imagine somebody purchasing thousands of dollars worth of stuff to prepare for whatever might kick off at any given time, man. And just the mentality behind that, you know, just kind of throws me a little bit. Yeah, you need to be prepared for whatever, but people need to understand, man. Even though you feel like or you think you're prepared for whatever may go down, when it goes down, are you really ready? I mean, because
I,
it's definitely not going to go the direction you think it's going to go. So what you got, bro?
I feel the exact same way on that. That in that regard, we're both in total agreement. Like of
Mm-hmm.
all the preparation you do,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way you can really be fully prepared for
Mm-hmm.
the end of the world type of scenario.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing like we've ever experienced before, I'm sure. I mean, you can go to even people who've been to like the military,
Hmm.
that's all structured and set up a certain way because of what you're getting engaged with, you know what I'm saying? Or what you think you're getting engaged with, right? But once you actually get in that environment or that situation, that's when it really hits you like, oh man, you know what I mean? This is really what's going on, right? So the reason I brought that up is because the title of today's show is "Hurt People hurting people. And I'm not sure what that person was mentally, but definitely had the mindset to do some hurting. If that makes sense. Oh
It's
man,
that's
go ahead,
funny.
bro.
It's funny because I'm sure that person's thinking like, I'm gonna hurt these people before they hurt my people mentality.
Yeah, man. But like we both were saying, when something like that goes down, or if something like that goes down, really, are you really prepared for it? And my thoughts are probably not. You know what I mean?
Right. And me being this conspiracy theorist that I am, if you don't have some underground bunker that you then got hold of or something like that, man, it's not. I don't think your strategy probably won't be too effective.
All right, there it is, man. So moving over, hurt people hurting people. Our first bullet point for the day is, and I actually mistyped this when I sent it to you, bro. Uh, they uh, have not, I missed those two words. They have not developed healthy coping mechanisms to deal with their own pain. Uh, what you got for that, bro?
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of times, especially within certain communities, you'll see
Mm-hmm.
how people they'll tend to, instead of embracing the fact, okay, I'm hurting right now, or I have
Mm-hmm.
something wrong here, and I need to probably seek professional help.
Mm-hmm.
Doing everything you can to get back to being you. They
Mm-hmm.
kind of just either bury it, they ignore it. Especially, and if I may, I'm gonna go here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we as black men in America have that really bad
Mm-hmm.
because we're dealing with a lot, and then
Mm-hmm.
we're taught to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders for our families, and then
Mm-hmm.
so we can't show any sign of, I don't want to say weakness, but any sign of something that says we're vulnerable,
Okay.
and instead of doing everything we actually need to do for our own mental health, we'll go
Mm-hmm.
out and actually snap one day, and
Mm-hmm.
it don't have to be, a mass shooting or something crazy, but we
Right.
just lose it. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's never a good thing.
Absolutely, man. Never a good thing, and it never ends well. As you were talking, bro, I was thinking about our bullet point here, and what my angle on this is people can actually have the right things in place to help them, like whether it's a therapist or just somebody they confide in who has good judgment and no what do you call it? What's that word I'm looking for? They have no bias. They have no bias. And but even when we have sometimes those things that we know will help us or that are helping us, we tend to pull away from it or run the opposite direction, man. And that's quite unfortunate. Um, Especially when I've seen this happen, firsthand, where somebody knows that they're going through a process that's helping them, or somebody knows that they need that type of help, and they're like, "Nah, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna do something different," or they pull away from it, even though they know it's working for them. What you got, bro?
Yeah, man, it's almost, to your point, man, it's like self-sabotage in the healing process itself.
Mm,
You might, like you say, you might even begin something to try to get better, and
mm-hmm.
instead of continuing it because it is actually helping, you find a way to just sabotage your own progress. And before you know it, before you know it, you're back to square one or worse.
Hey, man, what the heck is going on? You got a construction site over there?
Uh, uh, my wife, she's doing some baking, so she's in the background.
I'm sorry. So sorry.
Oh man.
He said, "What do we do? Have a construction site going on?"
Hey, that's what you call live, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
we appreciate your input, Rhonda. Oh man. Title of today is hurt people hurting people. And if you're good with that first bullet point, we're gonna get into the second one as best as we can, bro. All right, so our next bullet point here is yeah, I'm talking smack.
she can't hear you because I got the headphones off.
Yeah, but I can hear her. All right, we're gonna try to push through this, ladies and gentlemen. Our second bullet point for this morning is they want others to suffer, man. What you got on that one, bro?
Yeah, man, that goes right along with the topic, man. When you're hurt, you kind of it's part of that phrase of misery loves company.
Okay.
So when you're hurt, you kind of, in most cases, a lot of people want other people to hurt the way that they're hurting, or, for example, if someone gets a divorce, but maybe their two best friends are still married and happy, deep down inside, they might be thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing their marriage fail, which is messed up.
Yeah,
but I mean,
man,
it's people that really think like that.
Which is unfortunate, man. Yeah, you're going through some stuff, especially in a situation like that. And it can get real, bro. It can get definitely real, and you can really get outside yourself because of the emotional strain that is, bringing upon you. However, even in those moments, and especially in those moments, we need to be mindful of how we're thinking and what we're doing, because you can lose a great friendship behind that and make things even worse. You know what I'm saying? But we never want to put something that we're going through off on somebody else. We want to try to do all we can to make our situation a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Even though it is probably the worst of the worst situation.
Right.
I mean, I can identify with that to a degree, because I guess in the scenario that I was dealing with, bro, I just didn't need to be around anybody. You know what I'm saying? I had to literally keep myself away from everybody because I was ready to erupt. You know what I'm saying? And it could have been anybody, dude. Anybody could have got it at that point. If you'd have just looked at me wrong, you know what I'm saying? So I kept myself away from the public until I knew I was ready to, handle going around other people without lashing out or just totally, exploding, and giving the wrong person or just anybody who didn't deserve what I was feeling like lashing out on. You know what I'm saying? I had to protect myself from the public, if that makes sense. What you got, bro?
Yeah, man, I think that's what you call probably a healthy way of dealing with the situation. And it's funny because right off the bat, people wouldn't think isolation would be the best way, but because different things affect people differently. You have to figure out the best way for you and the most healthy way for you to be able to approach the situation. And you found that isolation was probably the best thing at that time. And when you felt healthy enough to kind of, re-enter society the way you were used to, then it was a great healing tool for you. So that was good.
Absolutely, man. And I'm gonna bring it back to black men, like you directed it in the first place, because we can be the best people in the world, bro. We can be the kindest, most understanding, most supportive individuals out there. We're definitely that. Because when we commit to something, we're all in, right?
Right.
But also on the opposite end of the spectrum, if something targets or hits our nerve, the way we can react, bro, can be quite lethal. I'm saying, and I ain't talking about with the usage of any type of tool or instrument. We can just react and respond lethal, man. Our tongue can be so razor sharp that it can just destroy someone. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful in how we respond to things, especially when we're going through things, because how it can affect those around us, especially those that are the people that love us. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and more importantly, people we don't know, like strangers who never met us, and then we reacted in a way or a manner that's self-destructive. It can really spark things off, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
What else you got, bro?
Man, I think we hit that pretty well, man. That was very effective.
Thank you. So, in our topic, hurt people hurting people, we rolling right through this one, bro. Our bullet point number 3 is they think that life is not fair. Uh, what you got for that, man? Rhonda off the chain this morning, bro. She's trying to make her presence felt. Go ahead, Poetics. What you got, man? They think that
Man.
life is not fair.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of people that kind of, walk around with that mentality of, life is not fair, life is not, kind of, walking around feeling like the victim in life, as opposed to, if you're not where you want to be, you have to kind of take accountability for where you are and why you're not where you want to be, where you want to be. And then you have to, how about strategizing a plan to try to get to where it is you actually want to be. So, but it does start with, healing and understanding that, okay, I'm upset. This is not where I pictured myself or whatever the case may be. And then you have to kind of, come up with a plan and realize, okay, it's not too late until I no longer have breath in my lungs. And I think when we can get to that point as a race, we'll be okay.
I agree, man. But also, some people can tend to blame things instead of blaming themselves. It's like if you have no effort towards the life that you're trying to achieve or the life that you want to achieve, then to me, you should only blame yourself, right?
Right.
I mean, there's always going to be something going on to make it difficult for you to get to where you're trying to go or where you want to go. But it's like, you have to take the blame. You have to put the blame on yourself. Even though a lot of people don't want to or they tend not to, that's where you need to start. Because if you blame yourself for things not going the right way, or like we're talking about thinking that life is just not fair, we all start somewhere, right? And then whether we realize it or not, there is a race in time to get to where you want to go. And if you don't realize where your starting point is and understand that there's some type of effort that you need to put in to get to the finish line of where you're trying to go, and you're not doing anything, you don't even want to take off when the first initial gun pops to start running, then it's not that life is not fair. What's actually going on is you are not being fair to yourself. What you got, bro?
Yeah, man, I think that's perfect. I think, to your point, life, you have to, it's not so much a race. I think it's more of a marathon. You have to make sure that you're always steady moving. Obviously, and it's really not where you start, but where you eventually wind up or where you finish. So you have to make sure that you have that goal in mind so that you can get there. And in the marathon, we all know things kind of take place. Sometimes you might slow down. Sometimes you hit a good stride and you speed up. But I think the biggest key is don't stop. Just keep moving, keep progressing, and eventually you're going to get to where you want to go. And you'll find that as long as you're putting in the proper effort, you'll get there quicker than you think.
Yeah, absolutely. But most importantly, you will get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't stop and you're going somewhere, eventually you will hit. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Next bullet point on hurting people is they only see the negative side of things. Let me take this one. I'll take this one first, bro. Um, Trying to do this without highlighting exactly the individuals that I'm talking about, right? So let's just say an opportunity comes about, and you enter into this opportunity with new people, and the environment is not what you're used to. In fact, let's just say this environment is negative, right? So the environment that you come from is a positive environment, and you do all you can to be positive. Period. But when you have a positive environment, it makes things a little bit better, right? Or,
Right.
or a lot of it better. And then you're trying to adjust to this new environment that's mostly negative, which makes you like the spark of the positivity, right? So no matter what, when you enter into this environment, you have to put forth all of your effort in positivity to try to reprogram the area that you're into, right? So it takes more effort and more consistent effort in order to start to uh, make that get that vibe or get those juices flowing in a positive direction for that new area. What you got, bro?
Yeah, man. I remember you and I, we would have conversation in the past about that. And we would always say, sometimes someone needs to be deprogrammed so that they can then be reprogrammed, with a positive outlook or mindset. I always, tend to look at things with the glass half full instead of it being half empty. So
Okay. Bro, I got some comments I'm gonna keep to myself. but we appreciate everything that's going on right now, man. Thank you everybody for looking in. We got some background noise, but we're gonna push through it. It's all good. Bullet point number 4. No, we're already there. Let's go to bullet point number 5 and hurt people hurting people, and then this is talking about they took. Excuse me. They told so many lies that they can no longer find the truth. What you got for this, bro?
yeah, man, I think we see it a lot more often than we should, where, when people begin to tell so many lies, it's almost as if they begin to believe that the lies that they tell are actually the truth. So it kind of, it's really crippling, I think, to our society in terms of not understanding that, if you start with the truth, even if the truth is ugly to start, you can kind of, build a better future because you realize, okay, there's an issue here, but here's the truth of the matter. Now we've diagnosed it. Now we can kind of come up with a remedy to make things go a little bit better. But instead, they're trying to compound one lie on top of another, and before you know it, they've told so many lies that they can't keep track of the lies they've told, or they really start to believe that those lies are the truth and the truth are the lies.
Man, and what I got for that, bro, is I've actually had experiences to where the same person was talking to me, and of course, the lies that they told already, I knew that they were lies. But with that type of person, why would you even waste your energy, right? But a new conversation sparks up, and that particular lie that they told in the past has altered so much to where I'm like, did you forget who you're talking to?
Right. Right.
Like, I'm the one that was like there when
you
this
told,
went down.
right.
Yeah, man. So things like that be going down, man. And then, of course, if you don't want to go there and try to straighten them out the first time, you don't want to waste that energy. You definitely don't want to waste it the second time, but you just shake your head, bro. Because it's like, you just chasing your tail like this. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't evolving in a better way. You're not performing, in the manner of achieving your goals or even setting goals to achieve, right? All you doing is making things worse. You're basically hurting yourself more than you're ever anybody else by telling lies. The truth will set you free. You know what I'm saying? And some people just don't get that. What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, man. I just have a short statement, and hopefully this will be effective.
Mhm.
When you're, living in, it's hard to be. I'll say it this way: it's hard to evolve or get better when you're living in a reality of denial.
Wow. Bullet point. Straight bullseye, man. I like that. Uh, that's hardcore truth to your face. For real. Uh, Man, we are halfway through this, bro, and we are making some great time. So I think we need to get into one of our segments, which we call "I Done Seen
See?
and I Done Heard It
Heard it
All."
all.
Today we're talking about money, man. And get this, man. I'm just gonna read it because when I saw this, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? So, a rare misprinted dime minted in 1975 sells for $506,250. Right.
What?
Right. A dime, bro. Wait a minute. It's not even a special dime. It's a misprinted dime. So it ain't even correct. But this is what people invest in, man. And I'm like, what? A dime. We're talking about 10 cents, bro. And it sells for $506,250. Have people lost their doggone mind?
Wow. Just
Why?
think of the real good and how much you could advance with on that kind of money, just spending it on something a bit more
Man, look,
I'm at a loss for words, man.
if you got money like that you can just spend ridiculously on things that are not worth the amount that you're investing into it, then you need to be
Go ahead,
okay.
man.
Okay, I'm gonna go here, bro. I'm gonna go here. Even if they took half of that and put it into the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They could have easily built a shelter or just fed the masses. You know what I'm saying? Who are hungry. It's just things like this, bro. Is
Yeah.
why I brought this up. A title is "Hurt People Hurting People." What good did they do with this amount of money when they made this purchase of a dime that was misprinted? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
How much damage did they do versus how much good they could have done? You know what I'm saying?
That's what's wrong with the world, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah. A $500,000 plus on a dime.
On a 10-cent value item.
That wasn't even correct.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can understand if it's like a special edition and you're a coin collector, but even still, $500,000 plus, bro, on a dime.
Oh my God, man. That's crazy.
I'm
I can't even fathom that, man. Really.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give something more than it's worth, bro. Not by any means. If it's worth 10 cents, you might get 10 cents out of me. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to find a way to purchase it for less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
All right, I got another one. This is way different too, man. Suspected tar balls on Sydney beaches actually poop-filled fatbergs. Poop. It's poop. They thought it was tar balls, and this is a Sydney beach, and it's poop. It's poop-filled fatbirds washing up on the beach.
Wow.
Yeah. So in Sydney, just be careful which beach you go to because
You might be dwelling in the presence of something that is a little ungodly in scent.
hey, we give that the acronym of sugar honey iced tea.
Oh man, that was perfect.
I am not trying to go to that beach, bro, or any beach like it for that matter.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I didn't see it, and I didn't heard it
Heard
all.
it all. Wow.
Oh man. All right. So our title today is "Hurt People Hurting People," and we're gonna get into bullet point number 6, which is they are lost because they want company.
They are a lost cause and they want company.
Thank you.
You're good. I got you.
I don't have my readers on, y'all. I don't have a. They are a lost cause and they want company. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. It kind of goes hand in hand with bullet point number 2, where you're hurting so bad in life for different reasons,
Mhm.
and not to even say that those reasons could even be invalid, because some of them may be.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like, instead of you wanting to climb your way out so that you can feel better and have a healthier mind state, again, you want to have company in the midst of that pain, and you want others to feel that same hurt you felt, as opposed to just healing so that you can have a healthy life.
Man, that's a dangerous place to be in, bro.
Man,
It's also a sad place to be in. Man, instead of trying to better your situation, you get in such a situation to where you want somebody to join you as opposed to you getting back to where you should be in society. I would say you're almost past the point of help. You know what I mean? So if you find yourself doing these type of things, or if you know someone who is doing these type of things, I would say get all the support group around them that you can to try to bring them back as quick as you can, because that's a dangerous place to be in, because you only go downhill from there. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
I would also say that I've seen situations where people brought me into the situation and gave me all their dirt, right? Their situation, which in most cases, if you got experience in this, it's one-sided, right? So you come into this with the information that they give you, and that's all you got, and they want to know your thoughts, right? So you give them your thoughts, and they take it to the other person that they're talking about. Next thing you know, you get a phone call, or you got somebody pissed at you for your input on something that somebody brought to you and gave you and wanted your thoughts. And then they took your thoughts back to that other person and just drew you into some crap that you weren't even asking for or looking for. What the heck is going on? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So you got people hating you off of something you thought you was giving good quality advice on,
Based on what you were told.
yeah. And the person that drew you in was obviously in the wrong frame of mind with the wrong things in mind. What you got, bro?
Yeah, man, I think that's a good point, because it's unfortunate, but I think more than ever we live in a society where people need a cosigner.
Mm,
So, they want to they have a disagreement with someone or an opposing view, and
Mhm.
instead of just agreeing to disagree and moving on, you
Mhm.
want to involve somebody else that's gonna, you want to give them what you want them to know so that they can kind of see things from your point of view and kind of back you. And it's kind of like, it's vindictive. So you just have to, we just got to find a way to get out of that, learning how to just, again, see things for what they are. And
Yeah, yeah.
when we're able to, first of all, recognize the truth,
Mhm.
we're in a position to be able to, do better as a result, because now we realize, okay, the truth has now hit me in the face, and
Mhm.
I have to improve as a result of that.
Absolutely, man. And for somebody who gets drawn into a situation like that, I'd say cut all ties and run for the hills.
I mean, yeah, that's not a bad. That's not. And you're right, man. That's not always a bad idea either. If somebody can rope you into something like that, and you
Yeah.
you think you have the nuts and bolts of everything you need to know before you and while you're giving that advice, and
Mm-hmm.
before you know it, you've given advice based on what you knew, but when you didn't have the whole truth, it's kind of like, this is how you do me.
Yeah, for real,
Right,
man.
right.
And it's people out there like that, man. It's only a couple of them. Slightly understating that by a lot, a lot, a lot.
Man.
Our next bullet point here, when it comes to hurt people hurting people, someone that some someone that they truly love cut them deep, so to never feel that hurt again, they grew cold. Uh, that's
Ooh,
saying a lot, bro. That's a strong one.
man. Yeah,
That's a strong one. You want that first, or you want me to try and get at it first?
I'll take it. I'll
Okay,
take it first.
okay. All right.
Yeah, man. Man, that's really, man. Unfortunately, we do live in a society where people do hit. They go through a situation where hurt, pierces them so deeply that yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, I'll never feel this hurt again ever in life. But the precautions that they take to keep
Mm,
from feeling that hurt is where the
mm-hmm.
issue comes, because they'll do everything they can to, for example, if you've been in most people can relate to relationships. When you're in a relationship with a significant other,
Mm-hmm.
you go through a really bad or toxic situation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you truly cared for that person, and instead of you just saying, okay, I need to take the lesson that I need to learn from this and just
Mm-hmm.
apply it and move forward,
Mm-hmm.
instead they'll kind of take it and say, this situation was so traumatizing for me that I'll never date again, or
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
just really crazy declarations that they make based on, albeit, bad experiences. But you got to understand that we go through things in some cases for a reason. God is trying to build our character.
Boom.
So, so
Boom.
you have to have a little bit of fortitude in life, because life is full of ups and downs. It's full of good. It's full of bad. It's full of everything in between. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to have that balance to understand that, not everything is going to be great all the time. So when you get to the point where you realize not everything is great all the time, you
Mm-hmm.
can understand and you're better equipped to handle the situation of life when it's not so good.
And piggybacking off of what you said, bro, we have to have the understanding that when someone hurts us or we get hurt really bad by someone we really truly cared about, we don't want to take away our chances from something better out there. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to build that wall to where the next person that should be in our life ends up not being in our life because we were so cold and so bitter and so harsh when that person was in our in our presence, to where they're like, I don't even want to be bothered with something like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to shut off every every road of possibility because of something we went through with one person. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not the same, right? Uh, And you got people out there who will destroy you for no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? Just because they can or just because they want to. And that's a shame, because it's just not right. But when that person destroys you so much to where they done moved on with their life and they done met somebody else 2 or 3 times, right? And they just not giving a care because they're just not a caring person. And then here you are still tripping off of the stuff that you went through with them, can't let it go, can't get over it. And you have amazing opportunities right there in your face, and you can't capitalize on that because you're stuck on that pain that you're still feeling from that open wound that you won't treat and let it heal, right? What you got, bro?
Wow, man, that's actually a bullseye of a point because when you're hurt as a result of something that someone had done to you, and you close yourself off to the point to where you cut off every avenue of any possibility of anything in the future, it's like you don't know how many blessings you've lost out on because you passed up on the wrong person. And even further, you might have passed up on even more than one person that may have been a good fit. So now you've missed your blessing multiple times, all because you won't allow yourself to heal.
Yeah, man. So what we're getting at with this, we still got a couple more bullet points, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you once again for tuning in. But we're talking about hurting people. But so far off of this, what I'm seeing is when people are hurt, they're doing all they can to hurt other people. But the person that's really getting hurt is that hurt person. Is that what you're getting, bro?
Yes, absolutely.
No matter what they do or how they respond, with all these examples that we brought up, it's making their situations worse.
Right.
So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. If you know somebody like this, or if you are somebody like this and are in denial that this is you, right? Take a look in the mirror because there's a lot out there that can help you. And the biggest person and the biggest thing that can help you is you. So got anything else on that, bro?
No, man, that was well stated.
Thank you. So let's see where we're at here. All right. So they lost someone that meant everything to them, and now they feel that there is nothing left to care about. That's a harsh one, man. That's a harsh one too. We get a little deep now. What you got for that, bro?
Me and popular culture, I'm gonna take it here.
Okay.
I'm actually reminded of the movie Poetic Justice, man, where Janet Jackson's playing the role of this supremely talented poet, but she's the movie actually starts off with a lot of action where she loses that person that was that important to her. And from that moment forth, she had been in a situation where it was so traumatizing that she literally just couldn't get past it. So it kind of, in this case, intertwines with bullet point number 7, where she's not able to even find someone that's actually a great fit for her because she hasn't healed and hasn't allowed herself to heal from that wound that was open.
Man, you brought up Jason. You brought up Poetic Justice, man. I'm gonna bring up Jason's lyric.
Okay.
Because that's a powerful movie as well.
For sure.
But basically, the storyline of that movie, if you haven't seen it, you probably should. It's a hood classic, starring Jada Pinkett Smith. I think that's one of her first roles, actually.
One of her early ones, yep.
Yeah. So in Jason's lyric, there's a character who's like always in trouble, man, and relies on his brother to always be there to get him out of trouble, right? And you talk about a lifelong, consistent events that occur back to back, right? So at some point, the good brother is going to get fed up, right? and in most cases, it's because they meet somebody else in their life who's more meaningful and has the possibility to change the trajectory of their life to take it in the right direction and make life beautiful for them, right?
Right.
So instead of that brother who's on the negative end doing things bad to be rescued all the time, uh, he gets offended, right? He starts to turn against this new person in his brother's life instead of embracing what that person can also do for them too, right? Uh, which it leads down this road to where the good brother has to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it's either keep doing what
Wow.
I've been doing with you for all these years that's really got me nothing, or follow my heart with this beautiful flower that I've discovered that's really changing my life for the way better, right? Uh, so this brother has to lose something that means a lot to him in order to get something that's going to mean way more to him and take him to the next. What you got, bro?
Man, just a couple things, bro. Shout out, first of all, to Bokeem Woodbine and Alan Payne for their extraordinary acting, and that they don't get enough credit sometimes. So shout
Absolutely.
out to them.
Absolutely.
But also, man, I often find that, when we follow our hearts, that sometimes it can actually lead down a road of destruction because, and the only reason I say it is because sometimes the heart can be deceitful. So you want to make sure that you're allowing God to lead your heart. That way you can kind of find yourself going through down a road that's going to turn out good for you, as opposed to you, oh, I follow my heart. And sometimes you following your heart didn't turn out so good. So that's all I want to add.
Hey, bro, I'm going to challenge you right now because this is kind of what we do. And a lot of people don't get to experience that, but I wanted to experience this right now because I think it's very relevant. You said the heart can be deceitful. I'm going to ask you to expound on that, and then I'm going to hit you with something that maybe challenge you a little bit on that. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Absolutely, man. Yeah. Sometimes, and it's not always every case. But sometimes, how sometimes you can get into a situation where you're in that situation, you might feel, a certain way for a person, and you're like, man, I love this person. This person is incredible. But there are other signs that also might tell you, they might be something, but they might not also be for you. And then you maybe introduce them to a close friend, a brother, a parent, any relative, whatever. And they're kind of able to maybe see, the destruction that it could have possibly led. And, there's always kind of a warning before destruction type of scenario. So there's going to be some sign that does reveal itself. But, your heart was all in. So you're like, okay, I'm going to follow my heart with this. And I know it's going to turn out right. And it's kind of like, it doesn't always go that way. Sometimes it does. But I always, the one thing I do know for sure is that when you allow God to lead your heart, you'll be all right.
Okay. So basically, the angle that you're bringing it is, if you meet somebody and you're all in, and then you introduce them to like your family, right? And your family see right through this person, they're like, bro, I don't even think you should even be messing around.
This is not what you think.
Yeah, I mean, because I can see clearly from over here,
right,
that they're gonna be a problem,
Yeah.
And because you're all tied up emotional, you don't see it. In fact,
Right.
you push back. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then the worst thing I like to hear is, well, I can change them. No, you can't. The only person that can change a person is that person. Right? And they have to be willing to change, especially if you're involved. You know what I'm saying? They have to be willing to change for you. So that's kind of siding with you on that one, bro. And I'm gonna jump to the other side to kind of challenge that a little bit.
Okay.
So let's just say in this same scenario, you actually know this person a lot better than your family does. You know,
Mhm.
you'll go way back. You've
Mhm.
experienced things, you've seen things. You really got a great understanding of how this person gets down.
Mhm.
But then when you introduce them to your family or your peeps or whoever, they don't. They automatically, I'm not. I don't know about that, bro. You need to check that one. And you're like, well, wait a minute, hold up. You just met them, right? You got to give them a
Mhm.
chance, right? You got to
Mhm.
get to know them before you can make that final judgment. Because believe me, I done did my homework, right? And
Right.
this person is solid, right? They got my
Right.
back on everything. And then, of course, your people keep going that direction, and then eventually you fall out with your people. Uh, this is an example,
Mhm.
and the person ends up being a ride or die type of person
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
your corner, supportive, and y'all get to working together, and boom, y'all take off, right?
Right.
But they didn't see that because they saw what you call they was reading the cover and not the book.
Right.
So what you got for that, bro?
Yeah, man. I like I was saying before, and I was careful to preference my comments at the very beginning. I said, and it doesn't in every case.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always clear cut and dry per se. But what I will say is just allowing God to take the wheel.
All
I
right.
just want to. I'm gonna keep it simple. I don't want to overcomplicate it.
Okay.
Yeah, just allowing God to take the wheel and let Him make all those important decisions for you. Because when you let Him do it, no matter what happens, even if it doesn't work out, it
Mhm.
works out.
All right. So let me hit you with a third example. Same example, right?
Uh huh. Uh
But
huh.
this time, the person that you meet is they all that you know that, and you mention to some of your people, and they're like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I ain't really feeling this one.
Uh huh.
And then you make your arguments and say, hey, you know what? Y'all just met. Give it time, right? Get to know this person, and they do that, right? And
Hmm.
then let's say a couple months, maybe a year or two down the road, they see what you see, right?
Hmm.
Because they've been interacting at different events and whatnot. And like,
Hmm.
dude, you know what? They're good. They're great. I support that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'll admit that at the beginning I was kind of like questioning the whole thing. But
Right.
now that I know them and I've seen them get down on certain things, hey dog, more power to you. You got my blessing. You know what I'm saying? What you got for that?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to outside sources, you have to be
Mm-hmm.
careful. You
Mm-hmm.
obviously can't listen to. I mean, you can. Every. Let me. I'm gonna put it to you this way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Opinions are like backsides. We all have them. So when people when people have some kind of dismay because you're moving in a direction with someone that they don't think you should be moving in a
Mm-hmm.
direction with,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just have to be careful, man. Sometimes it is simply a matter of questioning what is their motive for them not liking the person. And
Mm-hmm.
um you just have to and then you have to be honest with self. Hey, is there any validity at all to what they're thinking and what they're presenting to me?
Mm-hmm.
uh, I mean, but at the end of the day, again, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. uh, just when it comes to matters of the heart, you just gotta let God do His thing. I'm
All
gonna kind of
right,
reverberate back to that because that's where I'm at, man.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, let you know what's going on right now. I'm trying to contest some things with Mr. Poetics, and he's trying everything he can to do to avoid the contestation.
I'm not avoiding. I'm just I'm standing on business. Like my point is, the heart can be deceitful.
Mm,
Your heart is not always right about everything you might think it's right about.
mm.
But one thing we do know is that God doesn't make mistakes. So when you let God lead you and you let Him guide your life, you good.
Oh, okay, bro. All right, this is where I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna pin you into a corner right now because
Okay.
I kind of got three corners isolated. Now I'm gonna pin you into this last corner. I'm gonna have to bring you out, bro. All right, so the heart does what the heart does. You know
Uh
what I'm
huh.
saying? It's gonna do what it do. Either it's gonna become very fond of something, or it's gonna like be like, let me push on this direction over here. So with that being said, in all these scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
You saying the heart can be deceitful,
Uh-huh.
and I'm saying the heart is just true. The heart is true to what the heart do, and the deceitful part is not from the heart; it's from the other parties. You know what I'm saying? The heart's gonna do what it's gonna do. If you start feeling for somebody, you're attracted to what they bring in, right?
Mm-hmm.
The heart's not deceitful. It's following the lead. It's doing what the heart does, right? So if anything is deceitful through that heart growing or expanding towards whoever, it's not the heart being deceitful.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's being presented that's being deceitful. Now, what you got, bro?
I can't believe you're fighting me so hard on this, bro. Oh my goodness. No, man. I mean, honestly, bro, the heart, to your point, the heart is going to definitely, tug one way or another when it's in any given situation. And, that's just the natural human nature of things.
Mm-hmm.
But the point that I'm making is when when you allow God to lead your heart, it's going to turn out the way it's meant to turn out. Like you have to, and it's not to say you're never going to, experience, heartache and pain and all that. I mean, again, life is full of ups and downs. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. You're gonna experience, loss of parents, loss of, relatives. Your heart's gonna do it. It's still, you're still human at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, we have a tendency to just kind of lean on our own understanding and things. And I'm like, there is a template that we can follow that, allows God to, I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm on my Proverbs right now. So, hey, yeah, I'm on my Proverbs right now. So, you know, obedience is better than sacrifice. If you're gonna, you don't want to just. I'll just put it to you this way: you don't want to make any decision of, especially one that's important, without God's approval.
All right, man. He took it away from the heart once again, so I'm gonna leave it
Hey,
alone. I'm gonna quit messing with him, ladies and
hey,
gentlemen.
I'm not breaking on this one.
we agree to disagree.
Hey, and that's fine.
I can't get no pushback out of him today. That's cool. Sometimes it goes down like that. But you see my point, right? You see my point.
Yeah, you do have some valid points, man. I mean, the heart is going to do what the heart, does naturally when it's in any given situation, for sure.
Cool. Got it. So today's topic is hurt people hurting people. And we're on our 9th bullet here out of 10. And the 9th bullet is pain is all they know and all they've been exposed to. So what you got for that, bro?
Wow. I've always been a big believer, and I think this is going to be another one where we might have, opposing views.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been a big believer in one, being a product of your own environment. Because the statistics are what they are. If you come from a situation that's not favorable and you never had, any kind of start in life, in your case, I know you mentioned you started from a negative, you're the exception, but you're not the rule. The exception is, someone to do something a little bit extraordinary to try to get and improve their outlook, improve their way of life. But the rule is, the environment that you typically come from does typically, more often than not, it's going to rear itself in that person's life one way or the other.
Okay. Pain is all that they know and have been exposed to. So they refuse to change, in other words, because that's their environment, right?
Right.
Let's look at this, man, because
Okay.
I think people who have started off in this particular bullet point mindset, once they finally realized that where they came from or what they were involved in initially, when they come to understand that there's something different out there, these are the type of people that transform their life so huge that they end up being billionaires or heavy influences on life. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So this
Acceptance.
particular bullet point, I would say, would be the bullet point that either makes you or breaks you. What you got, bro?
Oh, we actually 100% agree. I think, the example you gave, are
Mhm,
the exceptions. Those are the
mhm,
people who are like, you know what, and it's not to say that their environment didn't impact them, because it did,
mhm, mhm,
but it impacted them for the positive. They
mhm,
understood or got to a point to where they're like, okay, this is what I've witnessed, this is what I've experienced, but I
mhm,
know that there's something else on the other side of this,
mhm.
and they're making all their efforts to getting to that other side, and obviously trying to stay on that other side. So we don't disagree on this.
Yeah, man. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
some people put their eyes on the prize or realize their destiny, and they focus on that and nothing else, and then they push towards it, and by any means necessary, they get there. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Through hard work and perseverance, and never taking a focus off of not going back. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
right,
I think we did great on that one, bro. Let's move on to
yeah.
the last bullet point for the day with the topic of hurting people. And this last one here is they refuse to experience life without pain.
Wow,
Wow.
man.
Um, you know, it's people out there, bro, who
Wow.
are so wrapped up in the negative and the pain that they experience that they just don't even want to deal with nothing else. They just want to, that's all they want. That's all they expect. And they come in and that's all they want. And that's all they're looking for. Uh, what you got for that, bro?
Man, I'll say this. It's kind of going on the lines of what you stated earlier when you said, when people are in that frame of mind, and then,
Mm-hmm.
they, man, they don't, that's a tough one, because the world is so grim to them. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have any hope.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any, man, there's nothing in them that will want to persevere beyond the hurt and the pain. They're in such a dangerous place that they almost need a divine intervention from other surrounding people in their circle, in hopes that they're not in the same wavelength, that that can hopefully help them come out of that. Because when you're in that kind of mind frame, man, as you stated before, man, it's dangerous, to the point to
Mm-hmm.
where it's actually sad.
Yeah, but I'm surprisingly going to go here, bro,
Hmm.
because we usually bring up the word balance every now and then. Balance. So within everything that goes on, man, there's got to be some type of balance, right? So you got people who are focused on positive things, and then you got people that focus on negative things,
Negative, right?
and then you got a lot of people in the middle, right? So when you look at it from a thought process of balance, you know, there's good, there's bad, there's right, there's wrong,
Hmm.
and then there's positive, and then there's negative. So with that being said and presented like that, bro, is it a such thing as necessary negativity?
Ooh, um, yes. I would say yes. There's we have to have, as you stated, man, a balance to be able to, at the same time, enhance our overall experience, to give us better perspective on things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like, the joy and pain paradigm, if you will. Like,
Mm-hmm.
joy wouldn't feel so good if you hadn't experienced pain, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So to your point, uh, absolutely, you do have to have both. You just want to try to put yourself in a position to, you know, be receptive of the joy side, because when you can be receptive of joy, there's room for that growth, there's room for that improvement. You can take those past hurts and you can turn, as we would say, those negatives into positives.
I like that, man. So let me twist it a little bit. This is what I do, ladies and gentlemen. So we talked about balance, right? Now we're going to talk about off balance. So so in this particular title, hurt people hurting people, let's just look at it as if they are off balance, because they are focusing way too much on the negative, or they're looking at things from an area in their brain to where it's not the norm, or it's not customary, or it's just too much focus from one portion of their brain. Um, how do we communicate to a person like this to get them to start balancing out their outlook in life? You got any thoughts on that, bro?
Well, maybe what I have is maybe be trying to meet that person where they are, not necessarily bringing yourself to their negative mind frame per se, but
Mhm.
bringing yourself to where they are. In other words, breaking down what their issues are in a way that they can actually receive it.
Mhm.
Because if you can kind of open up that chamber in their brain to where they realize, oh, this is an actual problem that I have, instead of this is the way life is supposed to be.
Mhm.
Now you're able to kind of get somewhere, because now they understand that the viewpoint of the negativity that they had before,
Mhm.
it's not the way to be, it's not the way to go, it's not the way to live. And once you present to them in a way that they can actually receive it, whatever that may be, however it has to be done, if you can kind of get their attention,
Mhm.
yeah, you can definitely affect that life, and get them to a point to where they can actually see, okay, I can do better than what I'm doing now.
Okay. So let me bring this example in, and I do this too. This is what I do, ladies and gentlemen. I bring examples. So let's just say this particular person, this hurt person is hurting people, has painted themselves into a corner, right?
Hmm.
And they're stuck, right? They don't want to move, they can't move, or they have lost the understanding that after so long they can move because the paint is now dry. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people forget that little detail when they paint themselves into a corner, of this off balance type of thought mentality, uh, of hurting people because they're so hurt. Um, the pain is gone, the wound has healed, right? But mentally, you're still affected by it. So we need to understand that the wound is healed and you're okay, and it's time to move on. The physical part is the healing is done, but the mental part is still affected. So you have to realize that paint is now dry, and it's okay to move out and then paint that last little corner. What you got, bro?
Yeah, man, absolutely. The way that approach that you took with healing that physical wound, and trying to alleviate that pain. Now you
Hmm.
just have to kind of take that same approach in your mental capacity when it comes to that same issue, and then you'll have, I guess, the total healing of it all.
Yeah, man. Because what people need to realize is a mental wound is far more worse than a physical wound. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Uh, let's think about a hospital, man. Somebody gets banged up pretty bad, and they go in the hospital. They get treated. The first day is the worst. The second day may be about the same. Maybe it's slightly better because you're getting medicated and treated. And then that third day, that medicine start wearing off, and you're like, "Oh, I need more medicine because I can't take this." Right? But once you get through that that third day, the medicine's kicking in, the body's healing, and then you start to feel better. Next thing you know, you're moving around, and you can maybe eventually start moving around on your own. But let's just say you were in a car accident, right? And then everything's good, right? You back to normal. You're walking around, you're feeling good. Everything's as it should be. You got a little few bruises, maybe a few scars. But then you sit down in another car to try like to go home from the hospital, and you're like, you know what I'm saying? You got to kind of shake it off because the last time you was in a car, you know, you had that
You ended
experience,
up in the
right?
hospital, right?
Right. So that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean by the mental scars needing to heal.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, what you got for that, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm definitely piggybacking, man. It's like a PTSD in the mind in that scenario where,
Mhm.
you know, you're trying to move forward, and then, like you said, you know, in the event, you know, it's time for you to go home from the hospital. In that scenario, you're
Mhm.
getting in the car and you're like, whoa, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it hits you like,
Uh-huh.
okay, you know, like I still have more healing to do up here.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely, man. So that's all I got. If you got some more, man, let me know.
No, man, I think we did. I think it was effective for sure.
Absolutely, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode was hurt people hurting people. If you're hurt uh, and you don't know it, talk to a therapist. It can do no wrong, right? It can do no
Right.
harm. It can only make
Right.
it better. And if you are good, talk to somebody else to see if they good, right?
Right.
We all are here to help each other, whether we agree to that or not. Uh, you know, people are connected, whether we agree to that or not. And we just want to try to make this world a better place. We don't want to make it Armageddon. You know what I'm
Real.
saying? We want to make it a better place, man. You got anything on that, bro?
Yeah, man. Obviously, that's the mission of our what we're doing here is to try to, you know, make the world better than, you know, leave it better than what we found it. You know,
Hey,
so
there you go. Way to cap it out, bro. This is Evolution, and this is my man,
poetics.
and this is what's really going on, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.